Hey, set your mind right now. Nothing before this matters. We came here with everything still on the line. Everything you wanted in the offseason is still out in front of you. What would you give for that moment right now? Let's go, man.
Let's go.
1, 2, 3.
Great coaches, you get great players. You have a great organization, and you tell them one thing.
Yo, what is good, Raider Nation? It is your boy Raider Alex. I am back with yet another video for you guys. In this video, guys, we're gonna be talking about cornerback Trayvon Mullen. You know, the future of him on this team. You know, whether or not I think we should keep him or we should trade him, that sort of thing. With that being said, Raider Nation, before I start on that, anybody that is new to the channel, you guys love Raiders related content like this, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. That being said, let's jump right into it. Oh yes, Trayvon Mullen, the topic of today's video. Trayvon Mullen was drafted in 2019 in the second round by Mike Mayock and John Gruden. I was definitely happy with the pick. I thought he had a lot of upside as a cornerback in this league, and I think, you know, if you look at it, that 2019 season and that 2020 season, Trayvon Mullen played pretty good, especially for what he was, you know, demanded to do, especially on a bad defense, which I will say, you know, he was one of the bright spots on a bad defense. Sometimes that's what you got to take in consideration, but you know, his first year as a rookie, he did pretty solid. The second year as well, I think he played very well in those first 2 years in the league. But you look at last year, I think, you know, last year was definitely a step back in his career. Only being able to play 5 games due to injury. You know, last year ideally would have been, you know, that would have been his 3rd season in this league. You know, ideally that would have been the perfect year for him to solidify himself. You know, whether it be, you know, a true #1 cornerback in this league or maybe just a really solid, you know, #2 cornerback in this league, and that didn't happen due to his injury. So fast forward to the current situation, and you know, now there's a new regime in town. There's a new defensive coordinator. There's a new defensive scheme on this team, you know, going into year 4 for Trayvon Mullen. And you know, currently I gotta say, Trayvon Mullen, he is kind of the odd man out in terms of, you know, the defensive backs on this team, just because, you know, the other guys we got on the roster like Rock Ya-Sin, that's a guy that, you know, we went out and traded for. Anthony Averett, that's a guy that we went out and signed. Trayvon Mullen, he's a guy that's, you know, the previous regime drafted, so he, like I said, he's got a little bit of a, you know, slight disadvantage in, you know, terms of the other cornerbacks on this roster. But when it comes to Trayvon Mullen, you know, is this a guy you should consider trading, you know, for the next season? You know, whether to move up in the draft or, you know, acquire different pieces, that sort of thing. You look at it, I feel like a guy like Trayvon Mullen, he was drafted in the 2nd round. He still hasn't really lived up to that 2nd round hype, just because, you know, especially with last year, you know, coming off a year where he only played like 5 games. So you take that into consideration. It's kind of like, you know, how much could you really get back for a guy like this? I feel like best case scenario, you could get like a 3rd round pick for him, more likely like a 4th to 5th round pick for him. So it's kind of like, you know, especially the way the cornerback room is set up right now, you know, I would like to keep a guy like Trayvon Mullen. I think there's just more value, you know, keep him for another year, you know, let him play out the rest of his contract. If he plays well, then look, you bring him back. If he doesn't play to the way you expected, you know, you just let him walk. Simple as that. The only way I think you really consider trading a guy like Trayvon Mullen is if we bring in another big time corner, obviously like the guy like Stephon Gilmore. If we bring in Stephon Gilmore, then yeah, that's probably a scenario where, you know what, Trayvon Mullen is like definitely the odd man out, and he will likely get traded for some type of assets on this team. But you know, with the whole Stephon Gilmore rumors kind of dying down from the Raiders, it seems like he might not sign with this team. So you know, if that is the case, I definitely just want us to keep Trayvon Mullen for another year. You know, at the end of the day, I think this is going to be a huge year for Trayvon Mullen. This is essentially, you know, the typical make it or break it year for a guy like Trayvon Mullen. This is the, this is the time for him to establish himself in this league, to show other teams, or the Raiders, if he wants to come back, what type of cornerback he's going to be in this league. But overall, I'm actually really excited to see a guy like Trayvon Mullen in this new system under Patrick Graham. I feel like, due to the personnel that we have, in a defensive back situation right now, I feel like we're going to be running a lot of man-to-man coverage, which Trayvon Mullen excels at, especially, press man-to-man coverage. Once he has to play a lot of zone, that's just not his strength. And then you look at a guy like Rocky Sin, his strength is more of the man coverage aspect of his game as well. Same with Anthony Averett, he can play some man-to-man coverage. So I feel like we're definitely going to be running a lot of man under Patrick Graham, and I think Trayvon Mullen will definitely benefit from that. I hope Trayvon Mullen has a huge year for us. He can solidify being I feel like he's going to be a good number 2 in this league. I don't see him being a number 1 shutdown corner, but definitely, if you can get, another guy to be your number 1, and you have Trayvon Mullen as your number 2, barring that he can stay healthy and everything, man, you got a really solid, cornerback position on your team. But yeah, Raider Nation, those are my thoughts and opinions on Trayvon Mullen. Like I said, I think we should keep him, play out the rest of his contract. But you guys comment on what you guys think. Should we keep a guy like Trayvon Mullen? Should we try to trade him? Do you guys think this will be a huge year for a guy like Trayvon Mullen? Let me know in the comments down below, as I said. And for anybody that is new to the channel and you guys love Raiders related content like this, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. With that being said, I will see you guys in the next one.